Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Oh, forgot to turn my video on.
Oh, good. So this is episode number 15 of an Untold narrative.
Cool.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Dustin Lee. I'm 35 years old. I'm born and raised in New Jersey, and I am a videographer for Gary Vaynerchuck, aka Gary V, aka the best entrepreneur on the earth.
That is an amazing introduction. I don't think I can get any better. So I'm just going to give a little bit of context because you are the first guest. I'll explain a little bit about what we do here, but you're the first guest that we've literally never interacted or pretty much spoke. A lot of the creators that I have on an Untold narrative are people who I've built relationships with on social media first and foremost, but also through like my professional career. I'm a footwear designer by trade, so I work for a footwear company. I have a background in industrial design, then footwear, but also art and curation. And I know a bunch of photographers and videographers. So you fit the bill perfectly. And the fact that we've never spoken is even more perfect. So with that being said, hopefully now that gives you a little bit of context to what I'm trying to do here. So I think you're going to be a perfect guest. So, but I do want to focus really on you because I think one of the key features of an Untold narrative is that I don't interview people with like a massive following or who are famous, because every podcast out there interviews the best of the best, right? Because they bring a lot of value. But I actually believe the people on the ground floor bring even more value, because they're the people hustling for the people who already have made it. And now, granted, those stories are perfect and they're great and I listen to them. But what I'm trying to do here is shed light on the creators who are still on the ground floor. So
I love that.
That's why you're sitting here. So why don't you talk about kind of your background? I mean, growing up in New Jersey, how did you get into creating videos and kind of your education and things like that?
Cool. So I ride BMX. I've done that since I was about 12. My friend and I, we really wanted to film each other and just see what we're like, just watch ourselves later. So then just took my parents' camcorder, like the old camcorder from like 1998, and just without even asking, and just went out to ride, filmed each other. My friend learned how to edit like just by taking the camcorder, routing it to a VCR, then having that VCR route to another VCR, like really ghetto, like stuff. And he taught me how to do it. And I just really loved doing that. I just liked editing, but I never thought, like, this was in 98, 2000-ish time. And like, it was never a thought to be like, oh, one day maybe we could be an editor, like, or for ourselves or something like that. It was just like, you had to be Steven Spielberg or nothing. Like, that's the only options. And so they never really thought anything about it. Just really enjoyed it, but just thought, okay, that's just a hobby. Like, and that's it. That's the end of that. Then like Windows Movie Maker came along maybe a couple of years later after that. Did the same thing. It was just a little bit more high tech.
Was this just like on the side? Like, were you, what
Yeah,
year, like, scope of your life? Are you like in college? Are you in high school? Are you?
Good point. Yeah, I was when I was like 13, I was still in high school.
Okay.
It was just like a hobby type of thing. Like, never thought anything about it. Didn't take any classes, or I still don't really know photography very well. And I failed that class in high school.
Nice.
And then just later on, I went to college for criminal justice, oddly.
Seriously?
Yeah, like at Rutgers in New Jersey. It's our state college.
Yeah, Rutgers is a big school, though.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the crappier one. It was in Newark. Like, it's not it's not like their main campus. It's one of like unless you go there for like law or business school, like it's kind of like whatever. It's almost like a step up from like community college, really. Like, at least during when I was going there.
Okay.
But yeah, like my goal, I guess, my plan was to become a cop, because I thought I look really young, obviously, And I just always thought,
we'll talk about. I mean, you said you're 35.
yeah, I'll be
I mean,
36
you
in
look
November.
amazing.
Yeah, I know. I'm a freak of nature. But yeah, like I wanted to be a cop because I thought maybe I could be like like a good undercover cop. That's what like
Wow.
my thought was. My thought process was like maybe I'll just be a cop for a little bit and then become an undercover detective or something. Then that just never happened because like after I graduated college, so at this point I had like zero, like I was just not interested in video anymore. Like, well, I was, but it's just like, it still was just like, that's never going to happen type of thing.
But you got your degree in criminal justice?
Yeah.
Oh, so you finished 4 years.
Yeah. 5.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah.
What year did you graduate?
Uh, 2008,
Okay.
2007. I forget. I think it's 2008.
So you graduated. You have a degree. You don't
Yep.
love it,
Nope.
and the recession is about to happen.
Yeah, it was right then. And then, so I was working part-time for this book printing company, like pretty much it's like a middleman company for a publisher and a printer. I was doing that part-time throughout college. Then after I graduated, like they really liked me there. So they offered me a full-time job
Nice.
just as like a project manager type of thing. And I said, okay, because it was right at the recession. I just really wasn't like, I wanted to play it safe. Figured a full-time job is really good at this point. Like a lot of people don't even have a job. So did that for about 7 years and then decided to, and at this point still nothing really in the video world, like except when I got my iPhone 4, just started like filming BMX. Just it's always been BMX stuff though.
Wait, but you worked for this middle business for
Yeah.
7 years? That's a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, I mean,
Doing, I mean, because it's complete. We'll get into where you are today and stuff like that, but that's completely different than like the mindset of everything that Gary.
yeah, I mean, I was really trying to play it safe, like just
Okay.
thinking, hey, this is solid money, like not even like a ton, but it was just like something. And I just thought like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm going to be for the rest of my life, just
Oh
in
my
the
God.
business world or whatever.
And so you were like basically handling accounts and like working with different people who wanted their book published, and you'd be kind of the liaison and stuff.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. Like I was working with clients, like just publishing companies and coordinating with the printers in Hong Kong at the time. But yeah, I was just doing that. And then like 7 years later, just thought, or my sister's ex-boyfriend now, asked me if I would be interested in working for the company that he was at, United Healthcare insurance company, doing like coding. And I'm like, I don't know how to code. he's like, oh, any monkey can do it. Like this guy that taught me, he can teach anyone to do it. And I'm like, all right. So then after 7 years, I just like, I wanted just a little bit, something more. I mean, he was telling me the money he was making. Like at this point, I was just thinking, oh, money. Like I need more money.
Yep.
I was making like 54K at the time.
After 7 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
and that's like 2000 at the end of that, that's like 2015-ish, 14.
Yep.
Okay.
2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then started there at this new job, realized I don't know how to fucking code. Like I'm just so bad at it. Like I don't understand it at all.
Did he set you up with that person to teach you?
Yeah, like that was the whole entire like program of this job. Like they put you through a boot camp for like, I think it was like 6 months or something, and then they hire you. We learned this old code called COBOL. Like it's like pretty much like only like 2 companies in the world use it anymore. Like it's really, really old. Coding I actually understood. Like it's pretty simple, like in the sense that it's just like you tell something to do this and it does this. That's pretty much what code does. It's just I didn't understand insurance at all, and that is what like really was complicating about that. But
So it wasn't necessarily like the coding aspect, like it was easy to pick up, but the fact that you were doing it for insurance was like
yeah, like
that's big.
the concept of coding is pretty straightforward. Like you just once you learn the commands, like it's just like you want it to do this in order to do this in order to do this, and then it'll do that. Like that's pretty much the idea of it. It's just insurance is really really complicating, and I'm sure like even normal people don't even know. Like when you get your like explanation of benefits, like you don't know what the fuck that means. Like what the hell does all this mean?
No idea.
I still don't know. And
Yeah, work gives you a package. You're like, yeah, that sounds good.
yeah, so then he pretty much, yeah, like I mean I hate to blame it on him. I was just kind of like going into it thinking it'll be easy, thinking yeah it'll be easy, and I'm just like, God, this is fucking
And
hard.
was it more money?
It's at first, yeah, like it had the potential to be like I think he was making close to like 90K, and
Okay.
that was maybe after 2 years.
Yeah.
um
So you saw that opportunity.
yeah, so then I just thought, okay, maybe I could do that. Then like a year after I was there, or maybe a little like a year and a half, heard Gary on the radio at our local radio station here on the
In
way to
New
work.
Jersey.
Yeah, well, in New York,
Okay.
um, on the way to work, and just talking about like pretty much just like following your dreams, or like just doing like stuff like stop doing things you hate, like everything Gary talks about. And it just really started like getting the gears going in my head, thinking like maybe I should try something else because I really don't like this job, and it's just not meant for me. Like if you're good at coding, it's a great job, but for me, like it was just not something I was good at, obviously. So, and just something I was not even interested in. Then I mean I was just started thinking about it and leaving the job. Then like I saw like Jim Carrey's commencement college speech or whatever it's called, just saying like pretty much the same exact thing. Like you could fail, or he said like his dad told him like you could fail at doing something you don't love, so why not do something give something you love a try. Or
Huh.
like,
I gotta look that up.
yeah, it was like really powerful to me. And I was like, damn, like that's true. Like I could get fired today. Like why am I even like trying to stay
What
here?
year was this? I mean, a few years ago.
That was 2016. I don't know when that speech was. It might have been a little bit older.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw it in 2016. And then I just saw like on Facebook, like my friends sharing Gary's stuff. And I was like, damn, like.
So it clicked again.
Yeah, it just felt like this was a sign from the universe. Like even though I don't really believe in that stuff sometimes. I mean, now I kind of do, just because like things are getting kind of weird now these days. But at the time, like I just didn't believe in that stuff. But I was like, damn, like this has to be some kind of sign. And then I just went to my boss, gave him my 2 weeks, and decided to try to become a YouTuber.
Wait,
was,
hold on, time.
yeah, okay. So let me backtrack a little bit.
You gave your 2 weeks notice without any job or stability or anything like that. Completely different from your built history of your career.
Yeah. So at this time, when I discovered Gary, saw the Jim Carrey speech, also had a couple friends that ride BMX, had big YouTube accounts. My other friend was like, hey, you should try this too, because they did it from nothing and they built it up quick. And I'm just, again, just chasing that kind of like quick buck kind of mentality, thinking, oh, okay, if I just do YouTube for like 5 months, I'll have 100,000 subscribers. Like, like just being really naive about it. Like, so I don't recommend this approach for everybody. Right. It's just, I mean, but I don't regret it. It's just like, it wasn't the smartest approach. Like, that's how I kind of think about it now. But I really don't regret it because obviously everything turned out great. But yeah, like I gave my 2 weeks, decided like maybe I could just, so let me backtrack again. I also have this meme account on Instagram. It's called Costanzagrams.
I'll plug it down there.
No, it's all good. It's just pretty much to explain. It's basically a meme account that's all based on Seinfeld. And I grew it on my own from like, now it has 500,000 followers.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What's it? How do you spell it?
Costanzagrams. COSTANZAS grams. Wait, no S. Costanza grams. Sometimes I always get
Oh
that
my
wrong.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I had that account, and then I started monetizing it around 2015, just like selling merch pretty much.
Only
And
through IG?
yeah, selling merch and doing like shout out posts for like other smaller accounts that were pretty much like copycats.
Nice.
Um, so I was making a little bit money off of that. So I thought, hey, maybe I could at least like if I just really hustle hard on that, like just keep selling more merch, and then maybe I could survive, or I'll
Right.
be able to survive. So then I was doing that. Plus I was driving Uber at the time. So that,
Part-time, like while you were
yeah,
working this coding job?
no, like as soon as I quit, I just signed
Oh,
up for
okay.
Uber. So
You
I
just
thought,
to
yeah,
make a couple dollars just to get by.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
thought maybe with the Costanzagrams thing and then driving Uber, I'll survive. Like I just thought, and I had like $7,000 in my bank account at the time. So I just thought like I won't be like homeless like next
Right.
week.
At a
So
minimum, like I'll live a year, let's say.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And then so then I gave my 2 weeks, quit, started a YouTube thing, just started making like BMX content, mainly like vlogs, just because that's what I saw. This was like nothing, like I didn't know anything about YouTube, like nothing. Like I didn't even know you can make money off of it. I was like, what? People make money off this? Like I thought people were just making stupid videos. Like I was just completely naive to like everything YouTube. And then I realized like you can make a living off of it.
Right.
Started doing a little bit of research. Then also just started making the videos, realized how hard it was as far as like just trying to gain a following. Also didn't have any idea how to edit. I bought a computer off Craigslist, a 2011 MacBook Pro. It had Premiere on it. It
This
was
is 2016 again?
Yep.
You bought a 2011 Mac in 2016?
Yep.
Man, that thing must have been slow as shit.
Yeah. Like it worked. I still have it. I still use it right now. I even have a 2015 MacBook Pro, but I was thinking about selling it. So then I started using my 11 again, and it's okay. It's just the fan goes crazy.
Yeah, it must sound like a helicopter taking off every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So I didn't even know how to use Premiere. I asked my friend that was an editor, like he just does like little edits on his own sometimes. I just said, hey, can you just teach me like the basic functions of how to use Premiere?
Right.
Sure. So went to his house, just showed me like this and this, and I'm like, okay, I think I got it. Like I think I got the rest. And then just went from there. And then after that, just anything that I wasn't sure how to do, I just looked up on YouTube.
Right, exactly.
I was like, oh damn, that was easy.
Learn
Like,
how to YouTube on YouTube. It's amazing.
yeah, it's seriously like. And then yeah, just realized how hard the YouTube thing was. Really wanted, like maybe a year later, still like going nowhere almost. Like maybe I had like 2,000 followers or subscribers, which is still good. Like when
Yeah,
you
that's a
think,
lot. But
but
after a year of doing it.
yeah, and then just thinking like, wow, this is not going as fast as I thought. But it's weird because I was like really impatient, but also impatient or patient at the same time, because like I was thinking like maybe if I just get good at this in 10 years, I'll work for Gary one day. Or
So
like,
you still like were thinking about him
yeah,
in some
like
sense. Did you
that
start like picking up his content, like just listening to it?
a little bit. It's so strange. Like I started rewatching Daily V recently, and I realized I never saw any of these episodes. I was like, what the hell? Like I thought I watched a lot of this, but I was like, damn, I don't remember any of this. But yeah, like that was the goal, just maybe one day work for Gary V, like thinking maybe if I'm just become a good enough editor and creative enough that I'll just end up working for him one day. And if it takes 10 years, whatever, it'll be worth it in 10 years. A lot of people had no faith in me, like my friends, family, like just nobody had faith in me. And I was just like really getting to the point where I was like, maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just start working a regular job.
No
or something.
faith in the sense that you're driving Uber, you're making videos, you're selling merch on the internet of things.
I guess I just didn't see the upside like the way you're kind of like saying it right now. I just saw it more like I felt like I was so then backtrack again. I was living in an apartment a couple towns away from where I'm at now, but my money was getting really dry. Like I was getting really low, like maybe a year later, maybe a little bit more than a year later, and then decided to just move back to my parents' house. That felt very like shameful to me, just because like I was really worried about what my friends would say and all this stuff.
And you're like 30,
At the
30 plus
time,
years old. Yeah.
yeah, I was like not realizing like how young that is. Now I realize how young that is, but like then I just felt like, oh my god, I'm 34.
$1,000. I used to I remember growing up and I used to like have a cousin who's like 9 years older and he was like 28 and I'm 28 currently. And I used to, when I was like, back then I was like 19, 20 years old. I'm like, man, he's old as shit. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah, for
I'm
real.
like, I'm 28 now. I'm like, I'm going to live another 4 lifetimes.
Yeah, that's a great perspective, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. I mean, I didn't even at my like 34. I'm like, fuck, I'm done. Like this is it. And
So you moved back to your parents' house.
yeah, my parents, that made it worse because my parents, they're Asian parents, so it's like they really push their kids.
Did they immigrate here? Or
Yeah,
were your grandparents?
yeah, no, they moved. They're the first generation to move here. I'm the first generation to actually born here.
Okay.
So they have
Where
very
did they
old
come from?
Korea,
Okay.
and they have very like traditional customs, I guess you could say.
Yep.
I mean, me and my sister have kind of like broken that out of them a little bit, like since for our years living with them and stuff. But they were very much like, oh, why don't you get this? Or my mom just kept pushing me to do jobs that I didn't want to do. Like, oh, why don't you become an FBI agent with that degree you have or something? Just like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, they were probably like so on board with you doing criminal justice. They're like, okay, that's a real job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then going from that to like pretty much being a scrub, like in their eyes, um, was definitely hard on me because it was like I'm trying to do something here. I'm trying to build something here. And it's like, no one had faith in me and it was hard. Until I met my current girlfriend, like she was pretty much the only one that believed in what I could, like just had faith in me.
Damn, I just got fucking chills, dude.
Yeah, like without her, I really don't know what I would be doing now because like I probably wouldn't have tried.
What's her name? We'll give her a shout out.
Kaylee.
Kaylee, hats off to you. That was awesome.
Yeah. And then, so then a year later, this is October 2017, like really struggling. Gary puts out a video on Daily V looking for content creators. It was like an application slash just a vlog.
Right.
Looked in the description, clicked the link, filled it out. Immediately got like, no, sorry, we're not interested.
Seriously?
Or not interested. Just like you don't meet the qualifications.
You
or
didn't get
whatever.
selected.
Yeah, I didn't get selected.
This is October 2017.
Yeah.
Wow.
And completely understandable because like I don't have a real life video background, and that's what I thought. I was like, all right, obviously not qualified. So I just keep doing my thing. I think I forget, like my memory is pretty terrible, but I forget if it came up again, like they put out another application thing again to apply, or they just like hit me up like maybe 4 months later. So either way, I applied again, got rejected again. Then I think, yeah. And then I thought, oh crap, I guess I just got to keep going though. I was like, whatever. Then like 2 months later, so a total of 6 months after I first applied, Andy Kranak, he's the director of Team Gary, emails me, says, hey, we'd like you to come in for an interview. I was like, okay, cool. Went in, met him, met with Seth and Iris at the time, and just had like a quick little interview. Then gave me a homework assignment, pretty much like made something with this content of Gary. My big thing was like, I always thought like the thing that Gary was missing was just humor. Like there was just not like, I love the motivational stuff, but I think having like a comedic aspect might have helped, especially because that's what my meme account was. Like it was just all like memes, funny stuff. Yeah. And I just thought that was something that is way more powerful. At least that's what I thought. Anyway, gives me the homework assignment. I send it back. Next
What did you
day,
create?
I forgot. It was like, God, I forgot what it was. One was like a moving picture of like Gary talking, like just saying something funny. I forgot what it was. And then the other one was kind of like he said something, and then I just put like it was like an Instagram post basically for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But it was just like what I like. I'm also something that I've been my entire life was just the movie quote guy. So like I would always like see a clip and then put a movie clip after that, kind of like to make it funny.
And relatable to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my thing that I always did, just movie quote guy. So then I made that, sent it back in next day. Didn't get a reply. I was like, fuck, I fucked up again. And then I was like,
Times
damn.
3.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like my confidence was going like all the way down.
Wait, hold on. Before the next part of the story, you said there was a 6-month period of time, right? So what were you doing in that 6 months? Still living at home?
Yeah, living at my parents, still making my BMX content on YouTube, but like not as much.
Was that
like,
monetized by then?
No. I mean, well, I think so, but I wasn't making anything because
It was nothing significant.
Yeah, because my views were so low. Like I had a couple that got maybe like 10,000 views.
Okay.
But it wasn't significant enough. Like I didn't make my first YouTube check until like August 2018.
Oh, okay. So way after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even after after I got hired.
Odds and ends and stuff like that. Just
yeah. And then this is like around winter time, so it was hard to ride, but and hard to come up with ideas for BMX. So I think I was mostly doing Uber at the time.
Yeah. The holiday season's good though.
Yeah.
You live in North Jersey, assumably, and would you drive into the city or would you stay local?
I would drive to Fort Lee, New Jersey, which is like right outside of New York, and then I would pedal across the George Washington Bridge just because I mean, one, I enjoyed it; it was fun, and two, I'm cheap, so I don't want to pay the toll.
I love that.
So yeah, that's what I would mainly do. But actually, now that I think about it, like there's a part that I was missing, I think. So around like the fall of 2017, I broke up with my last girlfriend, and I was just going through some like real like self-confidence problems from that, and just wasn't I just was really in a very confused state. I decided to drive, or I had a friend from childhood that lives in Phoenix now, and he's like, hey, you should come out one day. And I was like, all right. So then
time than now.
Yeah. So then I decided to drive all the way there, but I wanted to, like, I figured if I'm driving yeah. So then I figured if I'm driving all the way to Arizona, I might as well just go to LA just for fun. And I drove all like by myself. And then I just made that like kind of part of my vlog, I guess. Just like my journey, I guess, across the US. But yeah, I was just going through a really weird time. But then fast forward to, I was still making content. This is June 2018.
Well, wait, hold on. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
In that time period, you had that third interview with Gary's team.
Yeah.
And so that after you submitted the content, it got rejected?
Yeah, so that was that last interview with Andy was in February 2018.
Okay.
Then I realized I got rejected. And I was still just like, okay, I guess that I suck, whatever. And then just kept doing the YouTube thing. Then was getting really discouraged around like April and May, like still making content, but just really at a place where I just wasn't sure what I was doing.
Right.
And I was out one day in June, so I started making more like how-to content, because I was like, maybe I should just do it. Cause like most of the videos that like went well on my channel were like how-to stuff or like things that people are searching. And I realized, okay, people are searching this stuff. So I just started trying to making like
Was it
how-to
like
content.
tricks, or was it like how to ride in a specific way? Like
Yeah,
I know it's very
both,
different about people.
both. Like, I made one video that had, it was like 20 seconds, but like, it was like how to change a battery on a Dodge Dart. And that was like 20 seconds of like how to change it. And then the rest was just like BMX content after that. So it was like almost clickbaity in a way. Like it still was how to change the battery, but it was just like, okay, now you can just watch my BMX stuff afterwards.
And it
So it was
worked.
like, yeah, like that one, like I think it got like to 2,000 views like pretty quickly, and then now it's a little bit higher. I forget what it's at now because I don't really check my stuff, but it was definitely like searched. And people were searching for it, and people were watching it, and then it did lead to some small amount of like subscribers. That I guess people just were like, hey, thanks for that battery tip, and I'm subscribing to you, even though I don't know where that led, but.
Sure.
But so then one day I'm making like this is in June, like middle of June 2018, making another video, just like a how to do a BMX trick thing. I get interrupted. I get a call. I'm like, what the hell is this? Hello? It's like, hey, it's Andy. I'm like, oh, hey. Like just out of the blue. He's like, are you still interested in the job? And I'm like, oh, yeah. He's like, can you come in tomorrow? I'm like, okay. So then, yeah, just like, I think this was a Sunday. And then he said like to come in on Tuesday. I think that's what it was. I forget. So then went in. He pretty much told me the deal was like, this is going to be kind of like a trial period, like
Sure.
just for like a couple of weeks to see like how you do. And then if you're good, we're going to let you have a resident status, which is basically like, it's like a paid intern.
Apprenticeship, kind of like an internship, apprenticeship type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not a full-time employee yet, but like we're paying you pretty much.
Right.
So then, yeah, that first month I just like kept my head down and just like worked as hard as I could because I really wanted to stay. And like, I
Was
just
it
kept,
like hourly? Was the expectation like hourly, or was it just like it's up to you how much you want to work?
I mean, it was 9 to 5, but it would be pretty much 9 to 7.
Every day?
Yeah.
Because I imagine like that hustle culture, like you have to have it there, and it's New
Yeah.
York City where it just like lives.
Yeah. Like I didn't care. Like I was getting paid like $15 an hour or something. I didn't give a shit
Right.
though. Like I really didn't care. I just really wanted to stay. And every day I just like, oh man, I'm gonna get fired. Like, because I was just I'm very self-deprecating, I guess. Like I just really have bad confidence. So I'm just like every day I'm like, yo, you're gonna get fired. Like, but it was good because it like motivated me to like keep working harder. But it's just bad, like mentally, I guess. But yeah, I just always thought I was gonna get fired. Just worked as hard as I could. I'm like, I don't want to get fired. Like I was like, that was like my main thing. Like I just didn't want to get fired. And about a month later, like this was actually, he told me it was gonna be 2 weeks. Then it was like, actually, we're gonna keep doing this for another 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, no problem.
Cool. Yeah.
And then a month later, they gave me resident status. So it's like I'm actually a real person there. Like before, it was kind of like you're just someone that's kind of working here.
Random guy.
Yeah, just some random guy working here. That's what it felt like. At least I was just like, that's why I was like, I really needed to like work hard because I don't want to get fired. And then, yeah, 6 months of that, pretty much the same thing, just worked. And then, so a total of like 7 or 8 months later, gave me full-time status. And then now I'm pretty much just, here we are. That's what I'm
During
doing.
the apprenticeship, what was like your title or whatever? Was it just like
So I thought I was going to be editing like his YouTube videos or something,
Okay.
but they were putting me mainly on his Instagram. And I thought that was weird because I didn't value it as much, but now I realize like it's much more valuable than I thought. I just thought like YouTube, because that was just like my vision, I guess, like thinking YouTube is films. So like that's what I wanted to do. But then, but yeah, they were having me mostly do on Instagram. I didn't know why. I just thought, like, I felt like at the time it was like the shittier thing. Like, oh, it's just Instagram clips. Like I didn't value it like that.
Your strength was in YouTube or in Instagram? Because I'm sure they saw your Instagram Costanza.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I think they saw that. I didn't see it because
Okay.
I just wasn't thinking like that. And they saw that, oh, this guy built an Instagram. He knows Instagram. So let's put him on Instagram because that makes sense. But I didn't think like that. I was being kind of like egotistical, I guess, thinking like I want to be a filmmaker, like,
Yep.
and wanting that, like, I want something that's like artistic or something, like just this weird little goal of mine. Um, but I got over that, like realizing like, okay, I also just didn't realize how much Gary valued his Instagram. Like that's where he is a lot, like him there and Twitter, like that's where he pretty much lives. And I didn't know that. I thought he valued his YouTube channel, even though that's not it at all. Like he obviously does value it, but it's just like, it's not like where he's really in there. Like
I discovered him on YouTube.
yeah, that's how I discovered him too, and that's why I think I valued that more. But like he's really on Instagram all the time.
So
So
you did the Instagram kind of editing and posts and stuff like that, and
yeah,
for 7 months, and then when you got full time, what was your like title?
videographer.
Which isn't related to IG either,
Uh,
or was it?
yeah, because I mean, video was pretty heavy at the time.
Okay.
Um, but like, I thought I was gonna also be doing more camera stuff, even though I had no idea how to use a camera, which is pretty silly of me. I learned on the job though, and but yeah, I think they just saw the strength. My strength was definitely in editing, and I realized that too, even before I got hired. Like when I was doing the whole YouTube thing on my own, that's really how like I became self-aware. Like I was doing like editing on my own, where it was taking hours and hours, and I was not stressed out at all. Like I just was like enjoying the entire time I was editing, and I was like, it just like a light bulb went off. I'm like, damn, like I actually like doing this. Like this is what I like to do. Like
Are
I
you
don't like,
doing it in Premiere?
huh?
Are you doing it in Premiere?
Yeah. Um, this is after I quit my job and all that. Like I just learned the Premiere, but like I'm starting to like pick things up and starting to like learn how to do Premiere better. Like just learning little things, and then just realizing like I really liked it. Like I was like, damn, this is what I want to do. Like this is like where I'm really at my place, where I'm enjoying it. I'm not stressed out, and I could do this forever. Like I'll just like 8 hours went by, and I'm like, I feel fine. Like I don't feel like, oh my god, that was the longest 8 hours ever. Like I didn't feel like that. So I was just like, damn, this is what I want to do.
Right.
And I didn't realize. So it's weird, even though like I realized it back then that I'm a good editor, or I liked it, I enjoyed the editing part versus the filming and like being in front of the camera part. I still wanted that. Like I still wanted to be a good camera person, and still wanted to kind of like be in front of a camera, even though that's not my strongest point. I guess it's just me kind of like wanting to like fulfill like that empty space in a way, maybe. I don't know.
How
But
much
like,
how much do you think is the fact that you actually were doing something that you, because you've only been, let's call it editing, for a couple years, right? A few
yeah,
years at most. How much do you think like doing something that you really enjoyed influenced how good you were at it?
I'm not sure, because like I still don't think I'm the strongest editor. Like I don't think I don't do anything fancy. Like I don't know how, I never haven't opened After Effects ever. Like I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But I think I'm just good at noticing things,
Okay.
and like this very, very, very minuscule like details. Like I think I'm good at that. Like cutting clips to the point where it's like for example, like Philip DeFranco, like like that, like very jump cutty like edit. I try to do that, but tone it back to the point where it's like more attainable and not so rapid fire.
Sure.
But like it's such little, like I pretty much cut like 2 frames out of things. Like, and then that makes a huge difference, like in my opinion. Like something that I just cut 2 frames off like sounds stupid. Like it's like a split second,
Right.
but it made a huge difference as far as like the way things would flow. And that's just kind of like the things that I'm good at, just like those little details that like you might not notice, but I notice it, and I'm going to change it to make the audience watch it better. Like that's the thing. That's kind of like what I'm good at, I think.
That's awesome.
So it's not necessarily like fancy editing, like super nice shots or anything like that. Like, not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just
No,
that's not.
it's like
I'm
the
not good at that.
technical aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just more good at like what I'm trying to like pretty much keep your attention the entire time. Like that's what I'm aiming towards when I'm editing.
Hey, attention's everything.
Yeah. Like there's things where like this is something I always tell people that are like at least in the editing world, like just because you really like something doesn't mean it has to be in the video. And that means like a really nice drone shot. Some people really like put that in there for too long, in my opinion, like way too long. And I get it because like you really enjoy that shot and you want to show that shot. But most of the people don't give a shit. Like they see it and they're like, okay, cool. But they're not like, wow. Like they're not like staring at it for that long.
Seconds later, it's still the drone zooming out.
Yeah. And most people don't care about that. They kind of just want to see what's next. And I started understanding that when I'm just, because of the way I edit, I show it to people and I'm watching them watching it. I'm not watching the video. And I'm like, okay, where's the point where they're like, look like they're starting to get bored? And I'm like, okay, right there. Like they get starting to get bored there. And then I'm like, okay, I got to cut that down. Cause like, even though I really like that, they don't like it. Like they're just like, okay, whatever. Like I'm over it. And I'm like, okay, I see that they're seeing that. And I'm like, okay, I got to make that tighter. So that's a thing like I think I'm good at, just like noticing those weird little things that that shouldn't be there, I guess, and like just trying to keep people's attention. As
Yeah, no, I mean that's huge, right? That's a lot of what Gary talks about is attention in general, right?
Yeah.
So you've now been at Vayner. Are you an employee of VaynerMedia?
Yeah. Yes, I think. Well, it's VaynerX.
Different tiers of everything.
Yeah, so Team Gary is like
Its own tier.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like it's not part of the agency per se. Like it's not part of VaynerMedia per se, but we're almost like our own media company, like just for Gary.
Just for him.
Yeah. So it's like we're not really part of the agency. So it's hard. Sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. But I mean, I don't care. I just do my thing. And but
you've now been there for
2 years and 2 months.
Yeah, and a little bit of change.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the best job you've ever had.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, I can't be happy. I wouldn't be happier. Like, I'm very, very happy there, and I'm so thankful that I'm there. And it just every day I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did I get here? Like, this is so weird.
Man, it's been a grind. I mean, like, think about all the things you spoke about for the past 40 minutes of like those little things, and they just keep plugging through.
Yeah, it's just at the time you just don't think about it like that. Like, you just think, fuck, like, where is this going? And it's like, it's crazy. Like, because I really thought like this isn't gonna happen for a long time, and at the same time I was being so impatient. Like, fuck, why can't this happen already? So it's definitely a mind fuck, and like just a struggle in your own head, my own head, where I'm just like, damn, I don't know where this is tough. But then like now that I'm here, it's just like it's crazy. Like it's just hard to believe sometimes. I'm just like, damn.
Do you so you've obviously created like your own personal brand, right? Dustin, not Justin.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, when did that really start? Was it like at the beginning? Because I think it's so here, like I have a rule of thumb for this specific podcast. Even it's like I cap it at like 10,000 followers on Instagram specifically, because that's where the most of my interact. And you're like right there. But like I like when we first started. So we just for the audience perspective, like I started interacting with you on Twitter about your hair because I thought it was fucking awesome. For Tea with Gary V, and then
Yeah.
like the more I started watching Tea like over the summer, obviously through quarantine, like just in the background as I'm working my full-time job, I'm like, man, I think Dustin would be great. And then I started looking into it, and like your account has grown a lot, like
Yeah.
your
I mean,
personal brand.
thanks to T and Gary, that's like, otherwise it'd probably still be way less. But I'm so like thankful with like every one of I guess the Gary fan followers. Um,
We're crazy, right?
yeah, like, no, in the best way ever. Like such good people. Like it just makes me feel like a piece of shit sometimes. Like, damn, I'm a piece of shit compared to these people.
Um,
Like, just yeah, a lot of really nice people, and
But how's that
it's weird.
process been of like growing your own brand? Like you're now your own like thing. Like people know Dustin.
Um, I'm not really thinking too much about it, to be honest. Like, I just I'm just working for Gary. Um, like I just always like I put out funny stuff just because I like to make people laugh. That was like always my thing. I think I just always wanted to be like the class clown in like high school. Um, but yeah, I just like making people laugh. As far as like my brand, I don't really know. Like it's right now, it's actually like I was thinking this morning, to be honest, like how my brand is just kind of confusing to me because like I have the BMX side, I have the Gary V side, I have my now it's the Pokemon side, which is so
Right.
weird.
Hard
Yeah,
side.
like, and I'm not even a like, I'm not a huge Pokemon like expert or advocate, and I just see these accounts following me all the time, like just like Pokemon card trader or something, and I'm like, so weird. Like people are just like, I posted one thing about Pokemon, and now like all these people are like, like they're just Pokemon accounts are like interested in me, so it's like now I got that aspect.
So just to give the listeners some context, you just started buying and selling Pokemon cards because Gary preaches like card and flipping and
Yeah,
all.
like him and Lou have been talking about it for a while, like since even before the
Early
pandemic.
2019,
I
maybe
think so.
before.
Like, yeah, I remember we were still in the office, and then Lou was like, "Pokemon, it's big." I'm like, "Really?" And then I just like didn't think anything of it. I'm like, I don't know about that. And then like at the end of June, like I was like seeing it more, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should start trying to do this. I was like, and then just to, in like to be honest, like in a way to kind of like please Gary because he kept like saying buy, and I'm like, all right, fine. So then I just decided to buy one card, and then started doing research, and yeah, like now people follow me for Pokemon card stuff, like which is so weird because like I'm not an expert.
You're branching out into all these different avenues that you had no
Yeah,
idea about 6 months ago.
yeah, for real. And it's just so bizarre. So yeah, it's just been weird. Like because I guess because I'm such a like one track mind person, it's been hard. Even though like Gary says you shouldn't do that, like because him himself is the businessman, the wine man, the sports card guy, the Jets fan, and I get it. It's just really weird for me because like I'm always a people pleaser, and I know I shouldn't. Like I should do things for myself at the same time, but it like it's weird. It's hard to balance because like I care about the audience, but I also should do what I want to do at the same time. But I also just have that side that I don't want to be selfish to like just be like me. Like I want to make you laugh. I want you to learn something. I want you to just be yeah, just all that stuff. Like I realized recently also that like that's what I've been back on the YouTube thing. Like for the 2 years I was working at Vayner, like I really like had to put the YouTube thing on the side. Like I just couldn't do it. It was just taking too much of my time. Like I had to do the Gary stuff, and then on the weekends I just wanted to hang out with my girlfriend. I didn't want to film or anything. But I've been getting back into it now, and I'm pretty much like 90% of the stuff I'm putting out now is just how-to stuff. And I just realized like I really enjoy just having like helping people learn. Like even the other day I was riding with my friend and he's like, how do you do this? And I'm like, just like something that I've been like saying a lot is, hey, just lean your ass back a little bit more because like that's really was the problem. Like I saw the way he was riding. He's like, oh, that worked. And then he just seeing how like happy he was, like, oh, that worked. And like, thanks. Like he was just like, thanks for me to helping him. Like that, like really like hit my mind and my heart. And it's just like, damn, like I love that. Like he's happy, I'm happy. Like I'm glad I helped him learn something. And that's just kind of like how I'm trying to like do things more now. Just like, I just want to help teach people if I can, like if I know anything and I can help you get better at it. And you're like, oh, awesome. Thanks, Dustin. Like that drives me now. Like I'm just like really like that makes me happy and I get psyched off that. And I don't want anything. Like I just want you to be like, thanks. And then I'm happy. Like that's cool with me. Like that's all I want. Like you recognize that I helped you and made you better. Like that's awesome to me. And that's just kind of how I'm trying to do things more now.
I mean, that's pretty much why I try to have conversations with like-minded people like this, is just to inspire somebody else to go do something or to learn something or whatever. I mean, it's pretty much all in line. I love so much of everything you just said. We're going to so now I one of the things, so I only write a few things. One, I know nothing about you until now, but I have a few notes down here on my piece of paper. One of the things I had to ask you about, you got to tell people about your pizza theory. So I actually tried it this week.
Yeah.
I obviously knew we were doing this recording today. I tried it this week and it's amazing. I've waited 28 years and it's changed my life now moving forward. So why don't you tell people about what your pizza thing is?
So I didn't come up with this on my own. I remember like 15 years ago, one of my friends mentioned it to my friend saying how he eats his pizza upside down because that it just, you get all the flavor. Like, and I'm like, interesting. So then I just started, I've always been doing that since then, but I never really thought of like posting it. Like I always, like I grab my slice. Let me try to see if I can, here. I got a piece of paper.
Yep.
This is the top. I always just grab my slice and I always eat it like this. Like I just like fold it upside down and I just eat it like that. I'm like, damn, that tastes so much better. So then I just didn't think I just thought, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm just eating it like that. And then I think I saw something on TikTok where like just something about like the way that someone was eating pizza. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that with the upside down thing. So then I just posted on TikTok and then I posted on Twitter, posted everywhere. Or I asked it on Twitter first if anyone else does that, because it just kind of like just some dumb thought I had. And now it's becoming a thing.
Now it's your thing.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
and so I'll attest to it. You definitely get like all the flavors.
Yeah. Like I was doing that for a while with peanut butter sandwiches too. And like, not a sandwich technically, just a slice, put peanut butter on top and then eat it upside down. I'm like, damn, that tastes so much better because I could taste the peanut butter like right away. And then it's the same logic of the pizza. You just taste the sauce and the cheese first. Oh, this tastes so much better. Or whatever seasonings you put on there. And I guess the one like clapback I'm getting is just the toppings thing. But if you put cheese for last and melt the cheese on top of your toppings, then you're good. Like it's not going to fall off. Yeah. So, cause I actually got a slice last week from a place where, it was buffalo chicken slice. And I was like a little worried it was going to fall over. And I'm like, I think it'll be okay. And it was fine. I'm like, see, proves it.
That's so awesome. Yeah, probably a lot of people don't know. I didn't know about it. I never even thought about eating something like that. Like how preposterous, right?
it's such a better way to eat. I mean, I get it. It's hot, but just let it cool down a little bit. And
yeah.
But yeah, it just tastes so much better.
That's awesome. So we've almost been talking for an hour, believe it or not. So thank you so much for your time. But I have a few more things that I wanted to get to you about. So like, what are your like? Do you think too much about the future? Right? Like you obviously now have all these opportunities, and you're doing a great job. You're helping Gary out. What
Thanks.
is like, do you think about your future and your goals? Is it like, do you want to continue? You just hinted at it just before we tangented off into Pizza Land, about like going back to YouTube and creating, helping people out. Is like, what, do you think about the future like that?
I do. I do and I don't. I kind of like, I do think about just, I guess, building my brand like now. Um, Not because I'm pretty sure I'm staying with Gary forever. Like, because I had like a premonition like a month ago or something where like I really like I love Gary and I think he's seriously one of the best human beings on the planet, and I really do think he's going to buy the Jets in like 20 years or something, and I want to be there when that happens. And I just enjoy being like his sidekick, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And I just want to be there with him when that happens and just like give him a hug and be like, fuck, you did it, man. Like, and that's what I see. But as far as my career, I don't know. Like I'll do the same thing now with him for 20 years. I don't care. That's cool with me. As long as like,
you're just that happy.
yeah, like I'm
That's
cool with it. Like I enjoy it. As long as I'm not homeless, I don't care. But like at the same time, I've thought about like maybe just being maybe like, I don't know, maybe working for the agency, just to like be on just maybe something a little bit bigger. But I really don't care. Like it's not like a huge thing. Like I'm happy being where I am, and as long as like the only thing that I've been thinking about is just like my eyes because I'm staring at the computer for so much. But
Yeah.
I think everyone's gonna go through that, and hopefully the fucking bionic eyes come up soon. Like
You never know with Elon in the back.
exactly. So like maybe it'll be fine by then. So
You looked at those what do they call them? Not UV glasses, but they have like that blue light glasses.
yeah, I actually have a pair of those too. I was wearing them for a long time at the office, but
Work?
they help a little bit. Like
Yeah.
my eyes were straining a lot when I was at the office. Not so much now, which is kind of weird. I might have been the monitor I was using.
How has been like the quarantine been for you? Are you guys back in the office now, or are you?
No, so like there's like a 25% capacity or something, and then it's optional. Like it's not mandatory. I don't know who's in there right now. I've been home pretty much the entire time since March. I had to go in a couple times to grab some camera equipment because we wanted Gary's camera to be better for T, but of course he didn't use it because he doesn't care.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that. And that's why even like I do this on Zoom and then the audio is just fine.
Yeah.
I export it through Anchor FM onto Spotify and Apple Music, and it works just fine.
Yeah. As long as you can hear something, like
Yeah.
yeah, that's good enough.
That's pretty crazy. So you're still continuing. I'm assuming you don't live with your parents anymore.
No, I live with my girlfriend now. But yeah, like as far as being in quarantine, oh yeah, this is just a dumb background. It's not real. But as far as quarantine, it's been fine. Like I'm a pretty introverted person, and kind of just like I like working by myself. Like I do like being with people, but I'm good at working by myself. Just being in my own zone, kind of. So
how is being introverted, but you're always either on camera or behind the scenes of a camera, like those from my like back perception a few years ago, like where I was very like stupid minded, I would be like those two things don't work together, right? Being in front of a camera and an introvert.
yeah, I think I am an introvert, but I think I seek to be an extrovert, and that's why I'm kind of trying to like break that barrier by doing that. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
For me, like I want to be more extroverted, but it's just hard. Like I can't at the same time. Like it's like something I seek to be, but I know I'm an introvert in reality. It's just something, yeah, I've been trying more to be more like extroverted. And I think that also has, for me at least, it has to do with like just caring too much about what people think. Would make causing me to not be so extroverted. Like if I didn't care as much, I'd probably just, like, I think my girlfriend's the only person that sees me at my true like stupidity self, like just the goofy self I am, because I know that she's not going to judge me, and like I can pretty much say whatever in front of her or just act however in front of her, and she's cool with it. Um, and that's just something I'm trying to be more with everyone else. Like if you watch, like you watched me on T, like I'm very like just, oh, okay, thanks, Gary, or yeah, yeah. Like I'm just very short.
It's like, how's it going? Some like lately you'll throw out a word that's kind of like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, half it's me just kind of like my introvertedness, but it's also half. I'm not like I'm decent at multitasking, but not like that good at it. So I'm doing a lot when I'm
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, and like when he like says something, I'm kind of worried that something's gonna go wrong while I'm talking to him. So I'm like,
I got to get back to it.
Yeah, like okay, like I'm trying to still pay attention over here, but I want to talk to you, but I'm also trying to watch out for the chat, making sure. And then like I have my coworkers saying, "Hey, this doesn't work." I'm like, "Oh crap!" Like I'm kind of like freaking out over here.
The best was when you dropped that GIF on him, the share one.
Yeah.
He's like, what was that?
Yeah. He loved that. I knew he would like it too. He's like, "Ooh."
That was so funny. So I mean, this has been awesome, and I, even in regards to like being an introvert or more introverted, like you just saying yes to doing this means the world to me. I massively appreciate. I know you don't know me, so has this been your first podcast that you've been on, or no?
No, I don't remember how many. Like I've had a lot.
You've done. Okay.
Not to toot my own horn, but like a lot of people have been asking me, and
okay.
I'm happy to do it. Like 'cause I feel like I'm nobody. I'm nothing. Like I'm insignificant.
Yeah.
And I'm just honored that people find me even remotely interesting. So
no,
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. And so last but not least, where can people find you?
Dustin, it's at Dustin, not Justin, pretty much everywhere except Twitter because it was already taken, unfortunately.
What is it on Twitter?
Dusty, not Justy. I just had to like adjust it, which sucks. But it's like my bio name, I guess, is Dustin, not Justin. I don't know if that's searchable like, without the at.
Right.
But it's actually at Dusty, not Justy on Twitter. But everywhere else, Dustin, not Justin. Yeah, hopefully on Instagram we'll get that 10K like right there. So
yeah, you're like right there.
Yeah.
When I last checked. So man, this has been so great. I can't thank you enough for joining us on an Untold Narrative.
Pleasure's mine, man. Thank you for having me on.
This has been super cool. Hopefully the viewers find something really interesting. Go follow him, go check out his work, his YouTube, all his different platforms. We'll link them below as well. And then that's it.